Hey guys, this is Dardamus with Dardamus Dominions. I'm here with Gaslov. How are you doing, Gaslov?
Pretty good.
RCK, how are you doing?
Doing good today.
Hey guys, we're already into turn 3 on episode 2. I feel like we're flying here. We're gonna move into Satis's. Let's see. Let's go to Satis's province.
That's his first expand.
It is
Interesting.
but this is the first. Is this the first non-blind expand turn, right?
Yeah. So I mean
Second.
that's normal,
Well,
I think.
Yeah.
It's just that
Yeah.
other people have 3 provinces already because they went awake expanders.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I was thinking of something else. Looking at it saying it's turn 3, I mean, they haven't actually done their turn 3 yet, so I was thinking of that a little backwards.
I'm right there with you.
formation, You know, it's interesting that he's putting his shieldless guys up front. Or are they all shieldless? I can't
They're all
remember.
shieldless.
I think you're right.
Oh,
I think
okay.
they are all shieldless. This looked like a tough expand. I'm kind of curious if he's going to win this. Okay, guesses. Do you think he's going to win? Yes or no?
Well, we know he wins, right?
Yeah, I saw it.
Oh, yeah. Never mind. Yeah, we know he wins. Oh,
But I
Yes.
do think he takes more losses than he should have. I think he should have put his heavier troops up front and his lesser armored what are those kind? The lizard warriors?
They're the slaves.
The slaves, yeah, they should have come around the side.
what's interesting. Oh, wait. These guys have a higher protection than these guys. So
Do
the
they
guys
not?
with the shields. The
Oh,
guys
that's
with shields
cool.
have a higher protection. Is that what he did? Or did he... No,
Yeah, because
you are right.
you want the shields to catch the arrows. Now you can't ever predict, but most of the time, the enemy archers are firing the nearest attacker.
Yeah, I agree with you, dude. I think that these guys are your main line, and these guys are your flankers. These are the guys that you don't want to get surrounded like so. And these are the guys that you're kind of okay with. And not only that, but I think that these elite warriors are the ones that are more expensive, and they have a higher combat speed, so they're going to get, combat speed 10. You want these guys to get mucked up in with these guys so they move in slower. So you come in as one rather than in 2 separate forces. I agree with you 100%, dude.
Now, a reason why you could... actually, the elite warriors are only 15 gold. I don't know if they're more expensive or not, but because I knew they were slaves, so they could have been cheaper. I'm not entirely sure. You could have put the elite warriors in front, predicting that heavy infantry was going to hit first, because I mean the elite warriors are dealing over 20 damage with their trident, so that's definitely going to go through that or the protection of the heavy warriors. Maybe he thought the shield guys were going to hit the heavy warriors and just kind of stall out there. I don't know.
Yeah, I wish I had some sort of markup tool for Dominions that I could like draw arrows. I feel like John Madden. I like these guys off to the side. If you have these guys hit the main line and then you have your killers off the side, the killers are killing while the main line are dying. And I mean, if these guys die, the city guard are trash.
They're designed to just kind of stand there and take hits. Honestly, like I think that's their role.
If these guys are expensive, then I hope he doesn't make any more. Then I'm guessing he's a starting army. But it does. I feel like this was a bit of a misstep, though, which is really interesting. Because Sack is normally on the ball with this. How do you feel about Javelin Expand? I was going to ask you, because this is something that I don't like the Javelin Expand very much, unless it's in a supporting role like this, where they're firing javelins, but then they can even hit your own troops. What's your thoughts, Gaslov?
Well, javelins are, when I use them or have them, I like to put them in front as well, because they'll go up, throw javelins, and then my guys will go around. See, I feel like this army composition, there's a little bit of redundancy. Like, I don't think you need both the javelins and the heavy infantry guys, or at least the shield guys here.
My guess is that he recruited the elite warriors and that the starting army was the other guys. So
yeah, that's probably what it is. And either way, I mean, still, you're still going to want the guys who are currently behind those warriors up front, because you really want to get rid of them. You don't want to pay their wages.
That's another thing. These guys are slaves and they're 6 upkeep, and these ones are 8 upkeep. And like, I'd rather have a group of these guys And these guys, yeah, it's really interesting. Either way, I don't think that after this battle that he's going to be expanding with this army again. I think he's going to have to go home with it.
Ooh, I'm running away.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so while this was a
race.
Pyrrhic victory, this is going to cost him. This is actually going to cost him quite a bit of quite a few provinces in his expand.
And not only that, but this is his first province where other people have 3 provinces. Now he is going to make up for it with his scales, because wait, his scales are not perfect scales.
So he's probably dormant.
Yeah.
Dormant with a bless.
I don't. He had no sacred troops in there, right?
No, he didn't.
I don't know his bless.
What's funny is, okay, oh no, he doesn't have any helmets, so the monkeys are actually a little scary. Yeah, we have no, oh no, we can see it from his prophet. There we go. Reinvig penetration.
Yeah, he's definitely got a dormant. And he's got a real bless coming, I'm sure.
What is it, like astral earth, right?
Right there, yeah. I have no idea what else it's going to be, but knowing Sakani, I believe in the last game, he enjoys picking nations and that not many people pick and making them work. So I'm definitely curious on what comes out of this.
This is the first time I've seen him on a good nation, because I think Satis is a solid nation, but it's sitting in the middle of MA. So, you got that. But yeah, interesting little bit. Now, the nice thing is that if you see his neighbors have not expanded towards him at all. I mean, Fascia could theoretically be on his border already. So he's got Relay, Fascia, Pan, and Airmore near him, and nobody has expanded towards him. So even though he's having a slower expand, it doesn't seem like, he at least has a chance to get his territory before these crazy expanders are going out. Do you see anybody on his border that's kind of shouting out that he should worry about them? Gaslov.
See, and that's what's really cool about this map, is it seems like there are quite a few players who are very safe. And Satis is definitely in a safe spot.
Yeah, he got one of the very few roads that dies, I think. Yeah, he has one of the few roads. All this road that he has is like, it goes here and then it dies. It was on the edge and I messed up on this one. He should have had a bigger road. But like, that's his mobility to get to and from him is very limited. Do you see that as a positive thing or a negative thing?
I mean, that's clearly a positive thing, especially in this situation where he's kind of lagging behind the others. So who's north of him?
This is Pangea. Yep.
Man, so this is kind of a wild card right here. I mean, I think a lot Satis is going to be a victim of what happens to other empires, and it's all going to depend on Pangea. But Pangea is between Abyssia and Asphodel, and Abyssia has a nap 3 with Asphodel, correct?
Yeah, so he needs to find a direction, and he isn't going towards the water.
That is interesting. So, man, that's gonna be weird. I almost think there's gonna be a coalition against our Centaur friends here really soon.
Well, we're gonna see that one. Let's move into, or we'll see how that one goes. We did already look at Asphodel's at what's going on in their territory. So let's see what their normal expand is going to be. It looks like he just recruited a couple Centaur warriors, but the group is less than 5. Is that a big deal for you, RCK? Do you need to have 5 in a group?
It's going to matter a little bit when it comes to morale checks. I try to stay away from it, but that's probably the amount that he could recruit that turn, or is this from the previous expansion party?
This is the turn. This is turn 3. So you're right. I think he's had like 1 turn of recruitment. It's getting confusing. The first couple of turns get really confusing on how the math goes. But it was really cool. None of his troops got off the map before they retreated, even though these these satyrs did run. Oh, 9 morale. Okay, let's go and see what Airmore's doing. Now he went north, which is towards it's kind of a safe flank. And Asphodel, between him and Asphodel, there's like a lake.
Well, was it fast?
That's risky. That's very risky.
So he took an Awake Bless. Interesting.
What do you think, RCK? Tell me about it.
Normally you'd ever seen anyone playing Ermor, they're either taking Awake or Dormant Bless. Being that he took Magic to take the quickness, I'm surprised he went with an Awake versus a Dormant to save those extra points. At the end of the day, I think he's going to be fine because this is really going to help him expand early on in the game. Magic weapons, of course, it's a given. Shock and fire resistance. So I can't tell if he either went shock and fire separately or if he went to earth.
He has a rainbow.
Okay, he has a rainbow. So because I was looking at the strength, so I doubt he would have went that high in the earth. So those are two separate ones. He took Undying 6, so that's
3 death.
Death 3, HP plus 3, so that's 3. Nature, strength plus 4, so that's 4 earth. I like it. It's going to be a little different, but definitely a lot different than his first place he went with in Dance Monkey Dance. I believe that was the name of the tournament.
What I like about this one is that his Knights of the Unholy Sepulchre can actually use this bless, where most of the blesses, it doesn't hurt them, but it's not as nice as what this one is for these guys.
Oh, don't worry. His sacreds are going to kill things, and they're going to kill things fast.
Gaslov, you fought against him in Dance Monkey. What did you? How do you like this bless in comparison to that one?
I think his Blood Vengeance bless is way better.
Okay,
because
why?
I think the thing Ermor has to worry about is all the priest spam, and their troops, while good, like Lictors are very good. What beat me was the Blood Vengeance. I mean, his armies would have just crumbled against my armies if my priests weren't suiciding.
That's really interesting because when I talked to him last night, he said that your fire elementals were the things that won it for you.
Oh, the air elementals?
He said fire, and I don't remember there being fire elementals.
Yeah,
I didn't
use fire elementals. I used some air elementals but mostly banishment. And no, I mean you can go back to the numbers, and my priests were the ones that were scoring a lot of the kills.
Yeah, and Gaslov, I mean, Novell plays so many Airmore games, it would surprise me if he mixed up a few. So he might be just remembering another game, but yeah, it's I definitely agree with you. I think that it was the priests that did it, along with the earthquake was really strong too.
Right, and so what happened is my earthquaker killed himself.
Yeah.
And that's what Ermor wants. Ermor wants to attrition out his opponents, and Blood Vengeance does a good job of that.
It's funny. I agree with you, but I'm kind of like you said with the other bless. I'm kind of curious how this plays out, and hopefully we'll see what goes on. Now let's see. Abyssia. This is another one I haven't done the interview with Zan yet, and I really need to.
I will say another thing though is that Ermor also has to deal with Javelin expansion, since most of their good chaff in the very beginning that they're expanding with are going to have Javelins. The Terrarii won't, but there are about 3 units that do have them. And as well, because I've been playing a Pythium game, or not just recently, I just started it, and I've been doing a Javelin expansion too. And what normally I do when playing either Ermor or Pythium would be putting them in 2 lines, have them both on fire. So one line's in front of the other line. So the line would advance, fire all javelins, then go into combat, and then that's about when the second line will reach it, firing their set of javelins and filling up any holes that were made if anyone's died in the front line. So it's been pretty interesting, actually.
Yeah, I like that idea. It's a good idea.
And so he had them all on fire right there, and they didn't even get into combat.
Yeah, his little knights are just going absolutely nuts.
Yeah, combat speed 46.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. But I mean, if those end up hitting a blob of militia, they're going to get killed.
With the with the Abyssia expand, I'm not seeing any of his sacreds in this mix. And what's funny is I've even seen that somehow he got one of his guys diseased. What exactly is this? Is this pretty standard for Abyssia?
I think so because Abyssia's troops are solid. They're just terrible at literally everything else, and that matters in this game.
What do you mean by everything else? What would everything else entail?
They have a really hard time dealing with raiders. They don't raid very well themselves. They're slow. They have very bad battlefield magic. They have terrible research. They don't have a lot of redeeming qualities. And people, the awesome sacreds they have will get you so far, but you really can't win games on sacreds alone.
What's interesting is he lost a guy here, which was kind of surprising for me because these guys have got 17 protection versus Wolf Tribe, so he's already taken a little bit of attrition. Is that painful for him? Is attrition, can he take a little bit, or is it kind of is it very bad for him?
Well, it's kind of bad because his troops are kind of expensive. I think those guys are 20 gold apiece.
Yep.
And so that's not great. But he's probably not going to take that much attrition. I mean, his troops are very solid. Abyssia expands very well.
What's interesting is he did his blind expand. This is the second expand with him. I'm curious where he got the disease from. Do you think did he go death scales? He went death 3.
He did go death 3.
He probably just got hit, and luck was against him because he came into that battle with 1 hit point, I think.
Yeah, he did. So probably from the first one.
Well,
yeah, he probably just took the damage, got the affliction.
If you look at the overview for Abyssia, it says either if you go growth 3, it's going to cut it in half. If you go death 3, it's going to cut it in half. So he wanted extra points there.
It's kind of I'm looking forward to interviewing him because there seems to be, you could actually almost debate whether you should go death. I understand that half the standard effects. I look at that as a nerf and just would go growth 0 and say, look, I'm going to take my lumps instead of going death 3 and saying, oh, well, I'll just slowly lose all of my population anyways.
I've never spoken to anybody who thought death 3 on Abyssia was a good idea.
I mean, you're saving 60. You're okay. So going 3 scales death would give you 120 points, right?
Yes.
And theoretically, he's death 1.5, which is 60 points. So he's using this to get 60 points and still have death 1.5. So death 1.5 for 60 and he gains it doesn't seem like it's worth it to me.
What do we know what his Dominion strength is? Like how fast is this stuff going to spread?
Well, he needs to have some Dominion in order to recruit his sacreds, right?
Yeah.
Right, and
he has a divine.
But I think you can only recruit 5 sacreds, no matter like even at 3. What do you call that? 3 hammers. What is that?
Yeah, 3 production. Yeah, 3 hammers. Is good.
3 production. Thanks. Yeah, even at 3 production, I think you can only recruit 5 at a time anyhow. So you don't really need more than 5 Dominion, honestly. Maybe you can get away with 4 Dominion and then build 5 temples.
But the thing is that with the 5 Dominion, it's not like Airmore where the more candles hurt you. All you need is 1 Dominion for a long enough time, and it spreads everywhere. And I would almost say one lower number of candles would be worse because lower number of candles means that you're going to expand out more. You know, the cups will fill up faster and then overflow into adjacent cups.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
And so I'm kind of curious as to what's going to happen. I don't know if I'd go Death 3.
I think that's a mistake. Abyssia needs gold like crazy. And while you don't take, dude, he has chaos and death. I mean, he's gonna be so broke all game.
I agree with you. I hope that he takes lots of lands that are not his.
Well, he already has a nap 3 with somebody, so that, you know.
Yeah, that. And the thing is, he can't go south. I would absolutely get a nap with Relay. I think that's a great idea. You're not going to go down there. They don't want to come here because it's your cap circle. They want to go in other directions. They get the cap +2 for free. You know, give them that crappy. You know, give Abyssia this crappy swamp and take those 2, you know, lovely provinces and call it a nice nap. Go in a different direction each way. But I mean, what is Asphodel going to do against you? You just walk towards them and they die.
Yeah, I don't think he should have napped with Asphodel. I think he should have just gone to his capital and killed him. Because he needs that gold. And you know, and the problem with crappy skills like that is that you don't really benefit from other pretenders' positive skills until you have a candle in that land. So yeah, I don't know, man. He's gonna struggle with gold all game.
I guess the other question is, what did he do with all these points? Because Death 3, Misfortune, he's got Turmoil. Yes, he's got the production, but it's still negative scales on an Awake. That is, he's got to have an expensive Bless.
Divine Glyph.
I'm looking forward to see what his Bless is, and I'm hoping that we that we get to it relatively soon because that's gonna be really interesting. Now let's see what Relay did in their expansion. Okay, we have Mind Blasters. What do you guys think of Mind Blasters?
Solid, especially Ohms. Ohms Mind Blasters are phenomenal.
What did the Mind Blasters do for you? Because it doesn't seem like they're killing anything, and they're an expensive unit.
Yeah, they stun them.
What does that give you?
Well, I mean, it takes that unit out of the game, and then next round they attack something else and they stun that unit because I think they're stunned for a long time.
Yeah, I think it's a couple of turns they're stunned for.
Yeah,
paralyzed 8 turns. Yeah.
Yeah, and so you know, you 10 guys have like 80 dudes stunned. You know, so your army needs to match theirs plus, you know, 8 times. You need to be 8 times bigger. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why they're so good.
Something interesting.
What's that say?
I said something interesting is I'm actually playing in a Disciples game with Novell, and he's my team member along with another player, and we're currently fighting 3 relays, a disciple of 3 relays, and we're Ermor, Lemuria, and Therados. And the amount of Mind Blast is insane, how much they're bringing to their table, but we have taken one of their caps. It really got to the point where we just had overwhelming numbers because the ghosts, they will be targeted by Mind Blast, so it's hard to... It's not like an Omorian skeleton, which wouldn't be targeted because it's a mindless unit. It's really just you have to bring enough to the table to counter the Mind Blast. That's what it's going to come down to.
And if we look at their expansion, they are going towards Airmore's direction. I think they, you know, your first turn, you're just trying to get the easy direction. So I don't think it's that big. Like, we might be looking too much into it. Oh, that's nice. But do you think that Airmore is a legitimate? Because, I mean, like you said, the Mind Blasts, you know, if it was the Therados free spawn, you'd be fine. But this isn't Therados free spawn. This is, you know, and there's no Blood Vengeance too. Like what Gaslov said, there's no Blood Vengeance. So, I mean, are Lictors, can you target Lictors?
Yes, Lictors are not mindless. You can target Lictors.
I mean, that might even be worse because, I mean, they've got higher hit points than the ghouls.
Yep. No, I think I think you're completely onto something. Ermor is very vulnerable to Relay.
This is
But
gonna be
what
really
does Relay get out of taking Ermor? He gets a bunch of populationless wasteland
Yeah.
and 5 death gems.
Okay, he gets a bunch of land that nobody wants that is filled with gems. He gets the money from his scales underwater, and he gets the gems from Airmore. I think that Relay actually has one of the few good reasons to attack Airmore. It's kind of interesting because it's also safe land
over somebody else.
Wait,
See, that's what it comes down to is opportunity cost. Why take Ermor when you could take who's north of him?
Okay, they've got Abyssia to their north, which I don't.
Yeah,
think
you don't want to fight Abyssia.
Satis and Nabah.
Oh,
Nabah would be a good target for him. Like I think.
I don't
Nabah
know.
would be pretty juicy if he could win.
Because having all those camel riders, I mean, they do get those birds in the beginning. They're going to attack rear probably.
And what's funny is these.
I don't think so.
16 attack, 7 damage. I never realized it was a 16 attack, 7 damage. And if those guys actually get 2, I mean, they'll deal.
It's a toss up. It could. I don't know. It's interesting. I've never seen it happen before in a game, but it'd be interesting to see. I'm curious.
And not only that, but I'm curious if these guys would even target the. Oh, they've got the life drain melee, but it would muck up the mind blast, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, I don't know if that's the best. I don't know if it'd be the best direction to go in. What about Satis?
Satis would probably just cast foul vapors.
Okay. Well, what's fun is that I'm about to, about 10 more minutes when we're done with this episode, I'm gonna go talk to Relay, and that's gonna be the question I've got for him, because I think you guys I think that you've got a good point that Airmore is there could be better targets. But I just don't know which one they take.
No, I mean, even with the camel riders, I think Nabab might still be his best bet, almost. I think Gaslov is almost something.
I want to get through this episode, so I'm going to skip Fascia because we can look at this. I'm sure they're going to attack next turn as well, and we'll get a better view of them. I want to look at Nabah's troops because I think that this is a good point. Gaslov, how well do you know Nabah?
I don't know them very well, but I do want to see what kind of behavior those birds exhibit. Like, do they attack rare or do they just attack the front?
These birds, I think Nabah is one of the coolest expanding armies there is, because look at these birds. Like, it looks, they go randomly, dude. They just go completely randomly. And watch, all of these arrows are going to be hitting these birds, which are pretty much glorified free spawn. And look at this formation. Look how snaked up this is, and when it hits your line, like you're hitting them one at a time. Now, if these guys had gone down here, I mean, it still doesn't matter.
I just don't think that Nabah is going to be able to get to those Mind Blasters. And Nabah, I mean, are they the kind of nation that fields just a ton of weak troops, or do they have a few elite troops? Or are they somewhere in the middle? I think they're somewhere in the middle, and that's not going to be good enough against Relay.
What I did with my expand was I got a whole bunch of these elites. Okay, somehow or another. Okay, sorry if you missed it. The bless is a rainbow bless. Okay, yeah. I mean, is there anything special here whatsoever?
Nah, you see this all the time for Pangea.
Yeah, it's about average.
Okay. Then I think that kind of finishes off the turn, and we're a little bit before 30, so it's kind of a good time to call it here. Any predictions for early wars? Do you think we're going to see any early wars? I'm going to go to Gaslov because RCK, you've been watching the turns. Do you think there's going to be any good early game wars here?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a gangbang here with who we're looking at right now.
Oh, you think
that's what's going to happen?
Like either Asphodel or Pan?
Yeah, I think Asphodel and Abyssia are going to team up against Pan.
Okay, excellent. Okay, well, thank you guys so much for joining. Gaslov, once again, thank you for coming and being part of this episode.
Thanks for having me.
RCK, I appreciate you doing all the hard work to get this game together and even joining in with the videos. So thank you so much.
No, it's no problem.
Okay, guys, I will see you in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.